All right, everybody, welcome back on this Friday. Hope you guys are doing well still today. And we're going to look at some more nose tackle stuff today. And admittedly, this area, is even less interesting than the earlier area because the Seahawks don't really need another nose tackle, but if they were to get one, they would probably want a stud, right? Some stud nose tackle who can just blow away the rotation of mediocre pieces we have and maybe allow us to let go of two of them so we could at least slim the roster down just a little bit, shave it down a little bit, just a tiny bit, so we could maintain the quality of the play without having to invest in all these different players. But when you get down into this part of the draft with nose tackles, it's guys who are basically just another Cam Young or hopefully another Jonathan Hankins. Like they're just guys. And I don't think you need to throw another one of those guys into the rotation. It doesn't make sense. So I don't think there's going to be a ton of interest in this crew, but let's take a look anyway. The next guy who caught my attention at the position was Jordan Jefferson, LSU Tiger. A lot of LSU defensive linemen in the draft this year. None of them really performed the way you would have wanted in 2023, but they're all probably going to get drafted. 6'3", 313 pounds, 33 and 1/8 inch arms, 9 and 7/8 inch hands. The combine was pretty good. Bench press he crushed actually, 34 bench press reps. The vert was good. The broad was whatever. Again, he's a bigger guy though, so it's actually a pretty decent performance. He's only on one of the major big boards to give you an idea of how thin we've already gotten here. We just started, and he's only on PFF's big board. They have him in like the 5th or 6th round. The database has him in the 6th or so. So it's getting kind of tough to find guys, right? And you actually look at Jordan Jefferson, the thing that stands out is like he's kind of a playmaker. Last 2 years, almost 70 tackles, 16 and a half for loss, 5.5 sacks, 6 passes defensed, pretty good PFF grades, but like he's making plays. Like his stats in terms of backfield stuff is better than even Sweat. And that's kind of my holdup here. Even though this guy performed as a nose tackle at LSU, like his best quality is like his ability to shoot gaps. He's a good gap shooter. He can get in there and make plays in the backfield. He launches off the ball quickly. He gets into his rep quickly and can blow past the blocking scheme before they even get a chance to get into him. He's got nice agility in a small area as well. He's got like good movement skills for a bigger guy. And to boot, he's really strong. So there's some good stuff going on here with Jordan Jefferson. I like his lateral quickness. He will probably be a better pro than what he showed in college, I think, as well. Overall, just because, and I say that just because at LSU you're in such a rotation with guys like Mason Smith and Mekhi Wingo. It's tough to assert yourself. So I think that he needs to learn some stuff. He got pushed around a lot despite his strength, and it's all like technique stuff. It's like leverage, hand placement, anchoring, all that stuff that you need to do to excel as a defensive lineman beyond just being super strong. He didn't really have it. So he's got stuff to learn, but I feel like if he learns it, he'll be all right. Not really a double team guy, not really a guy who takes on double teams. Doesn't use his hands as well as you would like. That's part of what I was saying earlier about him getting pushed around, even though he's stronger than pretty much everybody he goes up against. And I don't even know if he really is a nose tackle. Like he's a nose tackle on paper because of his size and his combine performance, but he might be a one gapper. He might actually be a gap shooter. So his best asset being his quick first step to break into the backfield. I just kind of feel like this. Maybe he's a one tech in a 4-3, but I definitely don't get the sense that he's a zero tech in a 3-4. I don't think he can play in an odd front. So, yeah, not really feeling that. I do think he's worth a 5th round pick because there's pretty good potential here. I think he is a good gap shooter, but I don't know about him actually managing to do what we would need to do in this defense. He might be more of a 4-eye, honestly. All right, next up is Justin Rogers of the Auburn Tigers. So another tiger. A lot of tigers around here. 6 foot 2.5, 330 pounds. So nice and big. Got some weight to him. 33-inch arms, 10 and an 1/8-inch hands. Combine performance was as bad as you would expect for a guy this size. 24.5-inch vert, 8 foot 3-inch broad, 20-yard shuttle, 20-yard shuttle, 10th percentile. Bench press reps, not so great. That's a little bit concerning, but he does have longer arms, so that's a little bit understandable. PFF was the only big board of the major ones that are used by mainstream publications that had him getting drafted. They actually liked him enough to put him in the late 5th, early 6th. The database does have him in the late 7th, though, so got a good chance of getting drafted, but he is kind of playing with fire here. Did not have a very prolific statistical 2023. Kind of performed better overall, it seems like, in 2022. I'll say that. So he didn't explode. Over the last 2 years, you can see 50 tackles, 3.5 for loss, a sack and a half. PFF grades took a dip in 2023. The things to like about Justin Rogers is leverage. He understands leverage. He's a little bit shorter than the average nose tackle, and he knows how to sink low and be the guy who gets underneath the pads of his man. Very hard to get off the spot. He packs good power in his hands. His punches land with a firm ferocity. I like that stuff. He survives double teams well. He's able to take on a double team and hold his ground. And when you give him the opportunity to go after the ball carrier and actually hit him, he hits hard. So I do like a decent amount here. And I do wonder if this might be a better fit than even a guy like Justin Jefferson, who nominally is probably a slightly better player. He does struggle to shed through blockers. He kind of does things slowly. A lot of these nose tackles seem like they do that. Like when you want him to be trying to knife through to make a play, he tends to get a little bit stuck. He doesn't have quickness. He doesn't have explosiveness. Even by the standards of his position, it's a little bit lacking, I think. If you take a look at his testing scores, it kind of indicates that. His lateral movement skills aren't really there, so he's never really going to be a playmaker. And he's going to be very limited as a pass rusher. There's going to be a little bit of maybe bull rush stuff, but I don't see him ever being like a real bull rusher in the NFL beyond just 1 or 2 plays a season, realistically. So, one-dimensional run stuffer, but that's what the position is all about. I think this is just what the doctor ordered. If you need a rotational nose tackle who can stuff the run and play fundamentally soundly in the trenches. So, as long as you're aware of what you're getting into with a guy like Justin Rogers, I think that it's fine. So, 5th rounder, meat and potatoes type pick, right? There's not a lot of spice here. There's not a lot of flavor, but he's maybe like Cam Young. He gets on your team. He knows his role. He stays in his lane, and he does his thing. So that would be my thoughts on Justin Rogers. Got one more nose tackle video coming a little later today in the afternoon. We'll do some other stuff for the rest of the day. But let me know what you think about these two. I know that it's not the most exciting thing in the world to talk about nose tackle stuff, but stuff still needs to be said. We still need to understand what we're getting into with these players. All right. I'll see you guys later. Go Hawks. Let me know what you think down below. And another video of nose tackles coming later.